When I was younger, Avatar The Last Airbender was one of my absolute favourite shows. It wasn't just another kids' cartoon, it told a complex story, had a fascinating character dynamics, and didn't shy away from mature themes or even violence. Avatar introduced me to some unforgettable characters. One who really stood out to me was Zuko. As I've grown older and watched tons of video essays about him, I've realised just how brilliant and layered his character really is. In fact, just last week I released a video about Anakin Skywalker as a fallen hero, and a viewer named BradHealer9791 commented that Zuko is basically the complete opposite of Anakin. That got me thinking. So today we're diving into Zuko, who I believe is one of the greatest redeemed villains in storytelling. So what exactly is a redeemed villain? The character who starts as an antagonist, someone who causes harm or pursues selfish goals, but eventually changes their heart and chooses to do good. This transformation often comes from guilt, loss, betrayal, or the influence of someone who inspires them. Real redemption isn't just feeling sorry, it requires action, helping others, sacrificing something important, or facing their past. Famous examples include Arthur Morgan, Vegeta, the Arbiter, and today's example, Zuko. These stories remind us that change is possible, but real redemption demands growth, courage, and responsibility. Zuko starts off Avatar as a driven, dangerous antagonist. Once the crowned prince of the Fire Nation, he was banished and scarred by his own father, Fire Lord Ozai. Desperate to reclaim his honour, Zuko became obsessed with capturing the Avatar. Fueled by anger and pride, he relentlessly hunts Aang, clashing with the heroes and causing destruction. But beneath the surface, Zuko's actions come from pain and desperation, not pure evil. His inner conflict and moments of doubt hint that there's more to him than just rage and fire. Before he was scarred and exiled, Zuko was actually a kind and compassionate boy with a strong sense of right and wrong. He looked up to his mother and cared deeply for his sister, and wanted to bring honour to his nation. This all changed the day he spoke out against a cruel war plan during a meeting. His empathy was seen as a sign of weakness. His father challenged him to a duel, and when Zuko refused to fight his own father, Ozai burned his face and cast him out. That shattered Zuko's innocence, turning him into a bitter, conflicted teen, desperate to win his father's approval at any cost. For most of Season 1, Zuko feels like a typical cartoon villain, angry, obsessive, and always chasing Team Avatar with an elaborate plan that fails. There are small hints of depth, like in the episode The Storm, but he mostly seems locked in his role as a bad guy. Everything begins to change in Season 2, when cracks starts to appear in his loyalty and identity. That's when his redemption journey truly begins. Season 2 is where Zuko's transformation gets real. Declared a traitor and disowned by his father, he's forced to flee with his uncle Iroh. Stripped of status and comfort, he faces poverty and hardship, a harsh contrast to his privileged life. As he travels, we see his compassion, like when he defends a village in the episode Zuko Alone. Despite his past, he's capable of kindness and justice. But he's still torn. The weight of his father's expectations and the temptation of power threaten to drag him back. His emotional and physical struggles show how intense his inner battle is. Even with Iroh's guidance, Zuko betrays him at the season's end, siding with his ruthless sister Azula to capture Aang. It's a heartbreaking moment that reveals how hard it is to escape his past. At the start of Season 3, Zuko returns to the Fire Nation royal family. But it's not the happy homecoming he dreamed of. He's trapped in political games and pressured to prove loyalty by killing the Avatar. Zuko is torn between the loyal prince his family wants him to be and the part of him that questions their cruelty. He feels deep guilt over betraying Iroh, who was his guiding light through the chaos. Iroh always offered wisdom, patience, and unconditional love. He teaches Zuko that true honor comes from within, not from power or revenge. Without Iroh, Zuko's redemption wouldn't be possible, which makes his betrayal all the more painful. Through all he's endured, Zuko finally realises he belongs with Team Avatar, standing against his father's tyranny. The episodes where he bonds with the gang reveals that beneath his anger, he was always meant to be a kind and compassionate person. And the reunion scene with Iroh when Zuko apologises and it looks like he isn't going to be forgiven, and Iroh just hugs him, just absolute cinema, just absolute.
Uncle, I am so sorry and ashamed of what I did. I don't know how I can ever make it up to you, but
Zuko also shows the Fire Nation, especially his sister Azula, that true firebending doesn't come from raw power or anger, but from peace of mind and control. This marks Zuko's full transformation from a banished angry boy to a kind, just, and redeemed Fire Lord. Thanks for watching.